Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about edge computing. So after learning about cloud computing, we will see what is edge computing. So the question is, why do we need edge computing? The answer is very simple. This is because of the unprecedented growth in the following areas. So the first area is Internet of Things. The domain of Internet of Things is growing. That means more and more people are installing more and more smarter devices across the globe. And the second one is the huge amount of data generated by all people, machines, and things have been growing rapidly. This growth in the data can be understood by these numbers. So what does these numbers represent? So this number include 85 followed by 22 zeros. This much byte of data. So this will be 850 gigabyte of data. So this is the amount of data that the devices are going to generate by 2021. So the question is why analyzing this data in real time is important. The bottom line is what data is getting generated and traffic is managed by data centers and the cloud, and the top line is the data that is created every year. If you take year 2021, the amount of data generated by the devices will be 850 gigabyte of data. Out of this, approximate 10% of the data is usable data, which is around 85 gigabyte of data. But data centers today is only handling about 21 gigabyte of data. So what happened to the rest of the data? The usable data, but our cloud infrastructure can't handle it. That's why we move to a new topology that is called edge computing, in which we are able to analyze these data before the data is sent to the cloud. Otherwise, these useful data you are not analyzing, and it is just going to be discarded or going to the cloud because we don't have enough space to store all the data. So these are the some of the limitations of cloud computing. So the first limitation is latency. Latency is the time it takes for a request to go from client to server and back to the client. In the context of cloud computing, a client could be anywhere in the globe. But if the data center is very away from the client, then it takes lots of time before the request reaches to the data center and response come back to the end user. This is called latency. And the second limitation is bandwidth. The transferring large amount of data generated by devices to the cloud in real-time manner will cause greater pressure on network bandwidth. And the third limitation is availability of services. As more and more internet connections are deployed on cloud, the availability of these services has become an integral part of our daily life. For example, smartphone users who used voice-based services like Siri will feel frustrated if the services is unavailable for a short period of time. Therefore, it is a big challenge for cloud service provider to keep 24 into 7 promises. And the last one is security and privacy. For example, indoor cameras transmitting video data from the home to cloud will increase the risk of leaking users' private information. So to overcome these limitations, we move to a new technology that is called edge computing. So what is edge computing? So from the figure, it can be seen that the data from the Internet of Things or various devices Instead of sending this data to the cloud, we first analyze this data, whether it is important or less important. If it is more important data, then we will keep these data with the edge devices, and otherwise we will send it to the cloud. So edge computing is a distributed computing paradigm that brings computation and data storage closer to the location where it is needed to improve response time and save bandwidth. It is a topology rather than technology. In many cases, it would be very much beneficial to handle data on the device where it is generated. Edge computing helps decentralize data processing and lower dependence on the cloud. Edge computing offers ideal placement for low latency offload infrastructure to support emerging applications such as public safety, connected and autonomous driving, healthcare, etc. Conclusions. Edge computing is very promising and has found many useful applications. However, there are still many challenges ranging from fundamental technologies to novel application scenario and potential business model. So this was all about the brief of edge computing. Thank you.